Welcome back to Casual Sports TV. And let me see, this is how they do it. Let me make sure I get this right. Before we get started, please like, subscribe, follow. Okay, good stuff. Because this video is going to be across all platforms. So I will have it on YouTube, I'll have it on Facebook, I'll have it on TikTok, I'll have it on Instagram. There might be another one or two, but once again, this channel is just getting started. Casual Sports TV. Once again, this is primarily a boxing channel. So, for all of you boxing enthusiasts, you hardcore boxing fans, we should be kind of excited because there's a lot happening in boxing today. But I want to speak about right now is the rematch between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Yes, that rematch is set for, I believe it's June 21st. I'll double check and confirm. But listen, this is exciting. This is exciting news. There are a number of great fights coming. But this turns out to be, this is going to be one of the biggest fights in boxing this year, 2025. Because, listen, Mr. Lamont Roach, he was a big underdog in this match. He was coming up. He came up from 130. He was a champion, but he came up from 130 to 135 to take on Tank Davis. Now, many folks, everybody who knows and watches Tank Davis fights, we all know that Tank usually gives away the first few rounds, 2, 3, sometimes maybe even 4 rounds. Because in that process, what he's doing is he's collecting data. Then once he has your rhythm, once he has you sized up, that's it. He goes in for the kill. Boom. Well, this is the thing. Tank Davis and Lamont Roach were very, very familiar with each other. I believe they faced each other in amateurs. You know what I'm saying? And they know each other. So this definitely wasn't going to be a walkthrough. But for many people who thought it was going to be a walkthrough, because not everybody knew Lamont Roach. But the beautiful thing is that, see, Roach's performance in this first fight seriously put him on the map. Now, again, it was a controversial draw. I thought it was a draw. I watched the fight twice. That whole knockdown with Tank and the ref not calling it a knockdown and so forth, that's the biggest, that was the biggest talk actually of the fight. But this is the thing. Lamont Roach, well, he showed up, man. He showed up. And the thing is with Tank, when Tank would hit Lamont was there. Lamont was there. He showed he was coming. Now, this is the thing here. What makes this so interesting is that this next fight, they both have something to prove. Because Lamont, I know for many people felt that he won that fight, especially with the knockdown. If the knockdown would have counted, he could have won the fight. But you can't say that 100% because, again, let's say the knockdown did count. Tank going back to the corner, what happens? Now you got to turn it up. But this is the thing. There was so much happening in Tank's camp because, Ford wasn't in his corner. Actually, Ford, I believe, was like the second, because even when Tank ran back, Ford stepped on the canvas, which he wasn't supposed to do. That's illegal, mind you. And he wiped his eye because of the soul glow. He got some soul glow in his eye. That was Tank's excuse. So, some chemicals from the hair grease, and it was just confusion. But, let's get past that. Right now, this is the thing. The beautiful thing is, like, what Lamont Roach did is that he has everybody just chomping at the bit. Shakur was ready to step in and offer him a fight. You know what I'm saying? So it was like Tank was pretty much forced to take this fight because, again, he needs to take this fight because he has to get some get back. He has to kind of want to show that it was a fluke. But I personally don't think it was a fluke. I think, and some I've heard others say it, and Roach could possibly just have his number, because this literally it did take me back to the first fight with Roy Jones and Antonio Tarver when they had that very first fight when Jones got the decision, but it was a tough as hell fight. And then from that fight, Jones went up to heavyweight and he fought and he beat Andy Ruiz and he became a champion. Champion at heavyweight so he was the only champion to go from 160 to heavyweight and get the belt. And then the biggest mistake, he was never the same after this, was when he came back down. See, gaining all that weight, all that muscle he put on, and then have to come all the way back down to 125. Your body isn't the same, and then you get older and so forth. And everybody knows the history. Boom, Tarver was the first one to beat Jones. Actually, the first one to knock him out. Then after that was Glenn Johnson. And then, you know, it is what it is. But Royce Jones is still one of my favorite fighters. And not to go off too far for the deep end, but this is what we could be looking at with Crawford versus Canelo. I say that because Crawford is, you know, he's accepting everything. He's going to put on all that weight to fight at 168. Coming from 147. He had one stop at 154. Skipping over 160, going to 168. Now, the thing is, there's talks of him, provided he goes ahead and he does it to Canelo, or maybe after, it doesn't matter. After the Canelo fight, there's talks of him coming back down to 154 and, you know, defending and all that good stuff. But sticking back to Tank and Roach, what we have here is a very, very, very interesting, exciting situation. And it's going to be so again, they both have a lot to prove. And I'll be honest with you, it's, you know, at 1 minute, I would say, you know what, I'm giving it to Roach. I'm thinking Roach is going to come back but then you know, Tank, you know, you can't sleep on Tank. I don't think Tank is going to dominate. I personally don't think that. I think it could be very much a very similar fight. It might be more exciting because each of them may want to take over earlier. I don't think we're going to have Tank wait till the later rounds. And I hope, which I don't know if that's even happened, I hope his corner is correct, because that's the thing too. Behind the scenes, the corner could, listen, Calvin Ford not in his corner as the #1 trainer, that's a problem. And it was evident because there was chaos in the corner. And then you saw Tank, he kind of had a little meltdown. Y'all listen to me. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole lot to, you know, and I will be speaking on this. I'm speaking a whole lot of boxing going forward, but I will be touching and speaking about this fight as we draw nearer. But once again, I believe it's set for June 21st. I'll double check. But listen, you know, y'all tell me what y'all think about this. You know, get in the comments. Correspond with me. I will respond. I definitely want to, you know, this is definitely, you know, this is Kaji Sports TV, but I might have to change this name to Kaji Boxing Talk. You know what I mean? That's, again, this is what I love to do. I love to speak, talk boxing. I'm a boxing connoisseur. Yes, a boxing connoisseur. I go way back in boxing. You know what I'm saying? I've seen classic fights while they were live. So again, you see me here, right? I'm in the Platinum Club, so I've been around the block a time or two. They call these are my wisdom antennas. But yes, so folks, we have some exciting fights coming up. But this right here is the Tank Davis Lamont Roach rematch. Okay, the Tank Davis Lamont Roach 2. Who do you have in this fight? All right, I'd love to hear from you. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, follow. Once again, follow me on Facebook, Kaji Sports TV. Follow me on YouTube, Kaji Sports TV. Follow me on TikTok, Kaji Sports TV. Follow me on Instagram, Kaji Sports TV. Once again, thanks for checking in. Talk to y'all soon.